So this is an interesting video. Who had a better NBA career, Danny Ainge or Steve Kerr? So we talk about on the court, you got to give an edge to Kerr's success. But if we're talking about their stats, Danny Ainge got him beat, except for 3-point shooting and free throw shooting. But they both are what we call journeymen. Ainge borderline, almost a second and a half tier, high third. Steve Kerr, low second tier, high third, journeymen who were able to become front office and be successful in different endeavors. That's how it works, especially when you get privileged. But we're just strictly on the court. Both of them were feisty guys who were asked to do the dirty work or come in and score points and do the things. Ainge was notorious. Of course, you remember when Tree Rollins wanted to bite his head off, and he was being feisty and getting in people's faces and being real cocky and arrogant. The kind of stuff with the table waving with ML Carr that the Celtics, which bought him a front row seat years later as a GM in Boston. And he helped win a title with Doc Rivers and all that before he departed and went to Utah. But the thing about it is Ainge kept that same fighting spirit, that kind of passion, and it enabled him. Kerr went on to be executive in Phoenix, and then he took on being the head coaching opportunities, either coaching Golden State or coaching the New York Knicks. And a good dear friend of mine who transitioned years ago was mad at me because I said, well, that's a duh. If I got a chance to coach Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, that backcourt will go to the Knicks with Melo and then, well, I'm going to take Golden State. So, he made the right choice. 4 chips and 6 finals a decade plus later. It's pretty safe to say he made the right choice. But you're talking about on the court who had the better plan. And Danny Ainge could shoot threes, defend. So he had a little bit more overall game he had a better overall game than Steve Kerr. Sometimes I get asked randomly about guys that were, and I don't have a problem with talking about, I'm going to be doing it. I'm not just going to stick to the top tiers. I'll go around and talk about second, third tier guys that were role players. It was a different era, guys like Ainge and Kerr in today's game. Now, Kerr would benefit more. Danny Ainge would probably be like Grayson Allen, but probably like behind because he wasn't, he scored more than Kerr. And see, this is the trip out thing. If you don't go and explore these numbers, he outscored him 2-1. And he actually, when he went to Portland, he was on that team that went in the final. He went to Phoenix. He was the teams that scored. He wasn't asked to be high volume. He was like 10, 12 points, which he was able to do. Kerr just always seemed to be Kerr was like the low budget Forrest Gump that had high volume situations. He hit the game winning shot against Utah. Jordan made the pass. Went to San Antonio, played with Duncan. He was at the right place, right time. It's one of those things where his success overpads his actual game. So you get this allure that he was almost like a Robert Ory type, when statistically it was just, it wasn't not that deep. So this is why I took it upon. But he did have a better 3-point field goal percentage than Ainge. And I think he shot a little better the free throw line, but everything else Ainge got him beat in. But it's interesting when you talk about middle of the road guys who built up post-playing legacies and had a lot of wide range of success. And so you get into this like a whole different cadence of how you look at them. Because all that kind of adds up. This is how they manipulate you to thinking, oh, this guy was this guy, when they were basically third-tier plumbers. But they were good for their time. They did what they were supposed to do, but nothing more, nothing less. But anyway, let me know what you think. Danny Ainge versus Steve Kerr, who was the better player, NBA player? Not talking about what they did in the front office or a coach, etc., strictly on the court. And Danny Ainge, by the way, was a 3-sport athlete. Basketball, baseball. Actually, back in the day, when I used to collect Topps baseball cards, I had an old Danny Ainge Toronto Blue Jays baseball card. Cats were very versatile athletes, just saying. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another share if you like, and hit that membership, because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.